Good evening and welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And today we are on episode 90. So let's get into this. Kirubai, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Elizabeth. Enjoying the weather, enjoying the beautiful change of the colors in the park, all the beautiful cherry blossoms that are coming out. And I went to the park today, took loads of pictures.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was just lovely to be in the park. And then suddenly, when the sun went down, I'm cold again.
Oh dear, oh dear. That is the UK, isn't it?
Yes,
Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. But while it's here, you make the most of it.
yes. So yes, so we're having better weather. There's
Mm,
a turn in the weather. So we
there
thank God for
is.
that.
I think it's that thing that spring is coming.
Yes.
Things are
New
changing.
beginnings.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
There is
exciting.
a change taking place. And
Mm.
then this weekend I think we are turning back the clocks.
No, end of the
Is
month.
it? Oh, another one. All right. I was
I think
excited about it.
it's parts of America that are turning the clock.
So that's what I saw. So how was your day? How was your week? We did something. We went on a journey last weekend, Elizabeth.
Yeah. We went on a tour.
Excuse me. My
We went
chair is
on
kind
a
of,
tour.
yeah.
No, last
So
weekend
it,
was fun. Last
yeah.
weekend was fun. We went to, for those that are wondering where we disappeared to, we went to Leicester. So last Saturday was International Women's Day. So I don't think it's too late to say happy International Women's Day to any woman who's watching. We love you, we celebrate you, we appreciate you, we honor you. Keep showing up in the places that you are showing up and making a difference. Because yes, your input matters. You bring value into the room. So keep showing up.
Yes.
So,
S- So Elizabeth, we I think this is a right place to congratulate uh, Funky on her launch. We had a great
absolutely.
launch in Leicester and a great launch party. We met some new people, some great connections, and but most of all, it was a good place to be celebrating someone else's success.
Mm, that's it. And you know what? We need to get into the habit of celebrating others. As much as we celebrate ourselves, we need to get into the habit of celebrating others because guess what? There's going to be a time in your life where you want to be celebrated. So, sow the seeds that you want to harvest, right? Get into the habit of celebrating others. And when it's your celebration time, they will be there to celebrate you too.
Mhm. And
But it
thank you
was
for
lovely.
inviting me. Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for coming along. It was great to have you on the journey. So that was good. It was good. We enjoyed some conversation, which was really good. And yeah, it was great to have you in the room. When you go to speak somewhere that you haven't necessarily spoken before, it's nice to have some familiar faces. It kind of just calms your nerves if the nerves are there. So it was great to
You
have you in the room.
having nerves? No way. No way, Elizabeth. You were at your element there. And it was good. And I just sat back and relaxed and studied the room and enjoyed each other's company.
Mm. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. It was no, it was really good and it was great to see all the women in the room and even just hearing from them about the impact just being there had on them is really amazing. I think one of the hardest things to do is to start and just like once you start, okay, but before you start, there's so many things that go through your mind. Like, is this going to work? Are people going to show up? I was speaking to Funke and she said at some point she felt like it was just going to be her and her family in the room. because half of the people who registered were sort of canceling to say, sorry, we can't make it, we can't make it. And that can be very disheartening when you're planning an event. So honestly, we thank God for the success of the event. Funke, if you're watching, we celebrate you. Well done for starting. Her new life global conference has officially launched. So every year, Funke didn't say it, she put it out there. She said every year, every International Women's Day, we're going to have an event. So we are going to hold her to that.
You know what? She realized her dream.
She did. She did.
And with that, we're going to do our last two questions today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put it out to you. And the book that we are reviewing and sharing with you today is Putting Your Dream to the Test. So, Elizabeth, would you like to recap all the questions, or would you want me to do it? Because I don't know why my chair is playing funny today.
I've got the book, so yeah, happy to recap the questions. Let's go through them. Let's go through them. So we are on question 9 and 10. So let's go through some of the questions that we have been running through. So we've been running through the first question, the ownership question. So yes, we had the ownership question. Is my dream really my dream? Question number 2, the clarity question. Do I clearly see my dream? Question number 3, the reality question. Am I
Mhm.
depending on factors within my control to achieve my dream? Question number 4, the passion question. Does my dream compel me to follow it? Number 5, the pathway question. Do I have a strategy to reach my dream? Number 6, the people question. Have I included the people I need to realize my dream? Number 7, the cost question. Am I willing to pay the price for my dream? That was a good conversation last week. Number 8, the tenacity question. Am I moving closer to my dream? And today we're going to discuss question number 9, the fulfillment question. Does working towards my dream bring satisfaction? And question 10, the significance question. Does my dream benefit others? And I am looking forward to getting into that convo. Now, if you missed the last 8 questions, if you missed that conversation, you can go onto my YouTube page or Coach Kirubai's YouTube page. You can go onto Facebook, you can go onto LinkedIn, and you will be able to get a recap of the past sessions that we've done. So each session we've discussed 2 questions. So, you can just binge watch for a little bit and take something out of it because there is something in there for you. And if not for you, you can help us by liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing all the usual stuff, right? All the usual stuff that we do. But today, the 2 questions we're going to get into, I think these questions really, like, they summarize it all. They sum it up. It's like the icing on the cake.
That's right.
Over to you, Kirubai.
Yes. So, how satisfied are you working towards your dream? Are you grumpy? Are you always unhappy because you're not meeting your goals? Are you truly, truly, truly satisfied working towards your dream?
Mm,
So, there's a question for you, viewers. If you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your every thought. That means your thoughts have to be liberated and inspire your hopes. So, walking towards your dream, does it inspire you in such a way that you're content? How content are you looking through the progress? Each day we get closer to our dreams, and each day we work towards our dream. There might be some days that you might be discouraged. There might be some days that you might be elated, but there might be some days there might be genuinely delays that you can't progress. If you are working on a schedule, if you have a schedule put through and say every day I take little bites, and there might be days that you can't feel satisfied. So this is a question we need to ask each other. How satisfied are you? So the twin killer of success is impatience and greed. Ooh. When I read that, it's one of Jim Rohn's quotes. So let's deliberate on this. A lot of us kill our dreams because we are impatient. We
Wow.
want we want our dreams to be like instant noodles,
Mm.
which can't. It can't come out of a packet because, as Elizabeth and I always speak about, going through the process. And I love what Elizabeth says about the seed, planting the seed. Elizabeth, would you like to talk about or share about the seed, planting the seed and waiting for it to sprout and plant and bear fruit? Come, let's explore this a bit. I think a lot of us struggle with this
Mm.
impatience, and we want it fast so we want to maybe make money, which is not wrong. But Elizabeth, what are your thoughts about it?
So, just going back to, I guess, the seed analogy. So, referring back to seed time and harvest. So, you can't expect to plant today and receive your harvest immediately. There has to be an element of time before the harvest before the harvest can come to life, really. So, when you start today, don't expect immediate success. And when I say immediate success, like, progress can be success, yes, but don't expect like a massive, it's like building a house. And I think I said this last week as well. You can't start building a house today and it's finished today. It's going to take time. There's process to it. You must dig down so you can then build up. You don't just start building on ground level, otherwise the wind will come and blow it away. So you dig down. So even with your dream, there's groundwork that needs to be done. There's some digging down, there's some inside work that needs to be done for you to realize your dream, for your dream to come to fruition. You don't just start at the level that you're at. You have to dig deep. And sometimes the digging deep is just even searching yourself and just really going through the questions, asking yourself, yeah, is this it? Do I have what it takes? What do I need? What support do I need? When you're building and you have scaffolding, that's a form of support. What
Mhm,
scaffolding do I need? And sometimes when you're building, you might need to put some pillars in. You might have some so what is it that you need as you are building your dream? Your dream is not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen in a few hours. Now, you can look at an example of people who usually win the lottery. A higher percentage of those people lose the money within a short space of time.
mhm. That's so true.
Quick in, quick out.
Mhm.
Your dream, I said this last week, your dream is going to require time. Hi, Maria. Lovely. It's good to have you on here. It's been a while. It has been a while, but it's good to see you on here. So your dream
Hi.
is going to require input in terms of time. You're going to have to be patient, like Kirubai said, because there will be days where it looks like you have failed. There will be days where you might say, did I get it correct? Like, did I miss it? Did I miss the mark? There will be days where things might not work out the way that you want them to work out. Or maybe you're expecting somebody to deliver something and they don't deliver. And then it's an upset for you.
Mhm,
Because working on your dream, as much as you are going to have to put in all the, like, most of the work, there's also a dependency on other people. So whether it's for
That's right.
support, you have to bear that in mind. Whether it's as clients, you have to bear that in mind. You know, sometimes you might show up on the scene and not everyone immediately buys in. And you have to keep building, you have to keep showing up, you have to keep showing up, you have to keep adding value, keep adding value, keep adding value, until eventually people are like, oh, she's serious about this. She's onto something, and they start to tap into it. So you won't always have immediate buy-in. Sometimes you have to really share the vision, write the vision down, talk about it, prove it. Sometimes you have to prove your dream, because people might not believe that this is what you're working towards. So sometimes it's a case of like watch and see, like watch the space, and that's going to take time. That's going to be part of the process. But as you
Yeah,
start, you have to
sorry.
bear in mind that time is required in this process.
And interestingly, while you are realizing that point of being totally content and satisfied, the character, your character nature is being pruned.
That's it.
There's a lot of pruning that takes place, and your character is like tested, and it's built on things that are solid and not on quicksand.
Mm,
So, uh, Elizabeth, you gave an excellent analogy about the plant. I'm just going to talk a little bit about greed,
oh, go ahead.
because we are talking about what kills our dreams. Huh?
Mm,
So most of us, even I have been in that on the trap, wanting to go on the fast lane, because I'm desperate to see some profit, you know. But lo and behold, but end of the line, I have been totally disappointed,
mm,
because I have not gone through the process of waiting, marinating, and reflecting, and improving my services, because you can become very shoddy cutting
okay.
corners when you're cutting corners when you want to realize your dream, and that never works out, because we want our passion to turn into profit as soon as possible. Some can, some dreams happens in that way. It depends on all what you are offering.
Mm,
Sometimes it takes time, and let greed not come between your dream. I've been there, I've taken the photographs and wore the t-shirt. So I speak out of a lot of experience in this matter. So that's food for thought, and maybe somebody needs to listen to this.
mm. You know, and
So moving on,
just
sorry, you
talking
want to
about,
add something?
just talking about greed. I think that's one of the things that drives us when it comes to shiny object syndrome,
Oh,
because we want to
magpie.
make as much money as we can make, so we are tapping into all these different things. But actually, tapping into all these different things is not what you need for this season. Maybe you just need to focus on the one thing, build the one thing, and once it gets on its feet, then add something else, then add something else. But you have to fix your focus. You can't give 100% to one dream if you have five other dreams you're working on.
That's right.
Something is going to give.
Mm,
It's going to give. So the greed in terms of I want to make money, or even it might be like formal, a bit of fear of missing out. Like, I'm missing out on this deal, I'm missing out on this business, I'm missing out on this, I'm missing out on that. And because you see someone is doing well in it, you want to jump into it.
mm,
Have
mm,
you tested your dream?
mm.
Have you put it to the test?
Very good point. I like the shiny object syndrome. Magpies, love that. Yeah. So let's move on. One of the things that brings fulfillment, or are you really satisfied, is the difference between having the dream and realizing it. Because there is a gap which we kind of, there is we talk about the process, and there is a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So are you patient enough to experience the timeline? So we're coming back to the being patient again. So that point we have already explored, Elizabeth. So the size of the dream determines the size of the gap. SOS. Is this the same Maria, Mia? Ah, okay, all right. She, the photograph looks very different. Yeah, the size of the dream determines the size of the gap.
Mm,
So if it's the dream is huge, it takes longer to realize.
that's it.
Be- yeah, because you need all the different components to make up that big dream.
Mm.
So are you willing to wait on the gap and walk through the gaps, fill up the gaps with all the things that you need to realize your dream?
If you go through the questions, right, and you answer the questions, then you have to be willing, isn't it? You have to be committed to staying the process. I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking of, imagine if you have a dream to be, let's say, a professional footballer. It's not going to just happen in one moment. There's going to be a process to it. There's a price that must be paid, because that dream is going to cost you. It's going to take time. You have to put in practice. You have to, get into the right places, the right spaces. There's so much that is going to be demanded from you to make that dream a reality. So whatever dream you have in mind, don't think that it's going to be a walkover. That shouldn't be the mindset that you go in with it, like, oh, it's going to be a piece of cake. If it was a piece of cake, you would have eaten that piece of cake already. You wouldn't still be sitting there thinking, oh, should I start? Should I not start? Should I start? No. If it was a walk off, like, you would have accomplished it already. But there's a reason why you haven't yet accomplished it. And sometimes it's that you have to grow into the person that accomplishes that dream. Sometimes it's like Kirubai said, about building your character so that you are patient enough to stand the test of time, because your dream will test you. There are things that you might go through, and it's almost like your dream is asking you, are you sure you want to achieve me? That's what
I
it will
like the
feel
third
like.
voice. Yeah.
It will feel like your dream is questioning you. Like, are you sure? Can you qualify for this? But if it's something that you desire, if it's something that's going to bring satisfaction, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about fulfillment. Do you get satisfaction from achieving your dream? Or is it going to be a dream you achieve and then, like, oh, I achieved that, so, like,
It's not the pie in the sky. No, it has to leave a legacy. It has to live. Your dream has to live to to share the legacy with your family and your children's and your children's children. I think that's very exciting and is satisfying to see someone else carries that baton to carry on.
absolutely. It has to count for something.
Yeah,
It has to.
it's going back to greed. I think the character building is because some of our dreams can bring in a lot of financial breakthrough,
Mm,
and it can bring a lot of profit, and our character has to be able to match with whether you would be able to handle that big gift God is going to give you. So if you do not know how to spend money, or to be, what is that word? The word is to be responsible. The word steward, that's the word. To be a
Mm.
good steward of the profit that you're going to get. Sometimes it's just like water on a duck's back. You just lose it. It's like lottery.
Kiruba, have you had that story of the I'm gonna probably misquote it. I'm gonna give my version, but it's a story of a guy who was, I think he was a builder or an architect of some sort, and he wanted to retire, and so his his boss told him, build this last house, and
Mhm,
then you can retire. And he was a bit disgruntled, and he cut costs. Like he
mhm,
cut corners, should I say? He cut corners. That's the right phrase. He cut corners.
mhm.
So he didn't give it his fullest. He didn't do an excellent job. He did a shoddy job.
Wow.
But what he didn't realize is at the end of the day, or at the end of that project, his manager was going to say, this is your gift. This is your retirement gift.
Oh, wow.
So he had cut corners, thinking I can pocket some money or something, like, let me get this
Mhm.
over and done with. And he didn't do the best, he didn't give it his best shot. And then at the end of the day, they're telling him, this is your present. And he's like, oh, 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 I should
He
have
got
done my
duped.
best.
He got duped.
So, like our dream requires us to, like, yes, give it our best, and not cut corners. I would say work smart. What does working smart on your dream look like? It's not about like, how can i how can I cheat this person or cheat that person? How can I get here faster than everyone else? Like, give it your best, put in your best effort. Think of your dream as a house that you are building, and you want to be proud of this house. You want to look at it and go, yes, this will last generations. This will be my legacy. Think of your dream that way and give it your best, because that's when you're going to have fulfillment. That's when you're going to have satisfaction, because at the end of the day, you're looking at it and saying, we did good. So
Yes.
think of it that way, if that's going to help.
It's a more practical approach.
Mm,
It's not something that is abstract. So keeping your dream while taking the journey is to appreciate each step that you take forward. So appreciation, every step of the way, to be to be grateful, to
mm.
have an attitude of gratitude.
So,
So your body, mind, and spirit is aligned with the fact that you are thankful. All these little things actually helps you to keep yourself in a zen moment, keep
mm,
you not flustered and grumbling and having a an attitude of disagreement, an attitude of not being grateful, but to appreciate every step, because it is so close to who you are and all that you are. It is
mm,
you. It is you. How many of us, how many of us can put aside our grievances and say, I thank you. I thank you for the journey I'm going through. And there is a comment here from Maria. The pressure of paying your bills can prevent you from starting on the road to dream fulfillment. Most definitely. Most definitely. And but yet you can try. Probably it might take you longer to realize.
mm,
You might not have the resources at at the moment in time, but you can slowly building Every step of the way is a building block towards realizing your dream. Elizabeth?
I think that's why some people tend to start with a side hustle.
Ah,
They keep their full time gig, and then they're building on the side. There's a side hustle that they're working on, and I think that's great, but there comes a time where you have to sort of, if that dream is worth pursuing and it compels you enough, you have to take a stand and just really pursue it and really go for it, because the satisfaction will come. I remember I was reflecting on just leaving my 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 was comfortable. I had guaranteed income every month. I step out to start my own business. And like, if I don't do the work, money's not going to come in.
exactly.
If the clients don't say yes, money's not going to come in. And I totally see like what Maria is saying about the pressure of paying bills, because there's demands left, right, and center. And you have to
Mhm.
still be able to meet those demands. But when you have a dream that you're working on, you have to count the cost. And when you're counting the cost, you have to look at what are the things that I need to also pour into. What are the demands around me? Because if pursuing my dream is going to mean I don't have enough to meet those demands, then maybe pursuing my dream is for another time. Or maybe I need to give 1 day a week to pursuing my dream, while the other days I'm working on something else. So going all in might not initially work, depending on where you're at, depending on your level of commitments, depending on your demands. Someone who is, for example, single, no dependents, like no family to think about, it might be easier for that person to step out and start working on their dream than it is for someone who has 3 4 kids to consider, a mortgage to consider, so many demands on them. So sometimes the stage of life that we are in can delay us as well, because there's different demands at different stages in life. But I want to encourage us, if your dream compels you, if your dream is worth pursuing, because those things that I just mentioned can become the very excuse that stops you from stepping out to pursue your dream. So you have to make sure you don't fall into that trap where you say, oh, I have this dream, but I have this dream, but what can you start doing today? One thing. The one thing might be you start by doing some research. It's not, let me hand in my resignation, and it might just be start by doing research. For some of us, we are in environments that are very toxic, like our work
That run
environment
away. Yeah.
are very toxic. But we've got a dream. But because of the environment that we are in, it's consuming, it's taking our time, it's draining us, that we don't have time to put towards pursuing our dream. Now, that's not a good place to be.
Hmm.
That's not a good place to be. I remember one time chatting to a young lady, and she was giving all her time towards someone else's dream. She was working on this dream with them, and the fulfillment wasn't there. And I said, what do you really want to do? And she told me what she really wanted to do. I said, so at the moment, do you have time to even do any of that? And she said, no, because I'm so consumed with building this dream here. And the reality is, like, the friends that she was helping out, they have something to fall back on. And she
Yeah.
didn't.
Hmm.
And I say to her, I said, can I be truthful? Can I be honest with you? She said, okay. I say to her, can I put it to you that you don't value yourself? You don't value yourself. That's why you're not stepping out on your dream, but rather you're putting so much time and effort into making someone else's dream a reality that you have forgotten. You have forgotten your dream. Pursuing your dream is going to bring you some satisfaction. It will. But you have to, yes, count the cost. Yes, prioritize. Yes, there might be things you have to say yes to. Some things you have to say no to. You need to have a strategy. So all the questions we've been going through, they come in handy for you to reflect on.
Mhm. I don't know. Today it seems like I'm keep going back to the fact that, realizing your dream, also building your character. And one of the things is the key ingredient to realizing your dream is, yes, you need the financial support. You also need the family support. You need the right people around you. You have to be very clued into what you want to do. But I think the most important ingredient in all this is you have to be in the will of God for you to pursue that dream,
Mm.
and also resilience, building resilience, because
Every
we are women of, sorry,
everyone requires resilience.
yeah, you really require, really need resilience. But because we are women of faith, we also need to commit that dream to the Lord for
Mm,
Him to bring it to pass and to bring it to fulfillment. Because with that dream, He would bring purpose. He would bring that purpose and destiny that He has for you. Because I have personally seen that so real and relevant in my life. I'm sure it's with Elizabeth and many of you out there who are women of faith. And if you're not a woman of faith, it is all right. It's all right to step back and ask this question: Who is my dream going to touch?
mm,
Is it going to be satisfactory for me? Is it going to benefit someone else? And that's the point that we're going to. The last point is, what what does this dream do to others? What are the
mm,
benefits it will bear? What are the benefits it will bear forth fruit in myself and also to others? It just cannot be a dream in a box. People have to see, like Elizabeth says, show up and shine. Our dream has to show up and shine first for ourselves, as it brings total satisfaction and contentment. And how is it going to shine forth for someone else to embrace and
mm.
accept the dream?
The significance question.
Hmm.
Does your dream benefit others? And you know what? That can be that encompasses your why. Why do you want to pursue the dream? Who is going to be on the receiving end
Hmm.
of your dream becoming a reality? What difference is it going to make to them? And sometimes we are scared of stepping out. But when we think about the significance question and we are able to answer the significance question, bless you, Kirubai, when we are able to answer the significance question, it can be the motivator and the fuel. It can be the thing that fans the flame for us to pursue our dream. When you realize by me pursuing my dream, it's going to unlock other people into their destiny. It's going to unlock others to step out and be who they're meant to be.
Hmm.
How significant is your dream? By you pursuing your dream. So, Kirubai, I'm going to expose you. One of the things Kirubai and her husband do is they dig wells, right? That's
Okay.
one thing you do. You dig wells. Now, pursuing your dream means that you can have more finances to put towards digging wells. And who are those wells benefiting? People who don't have access to water. Is it going to make a difference to them? Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
is. So, is pursuing your dream significant? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You have to be able to look at, like, what's the end result? What are the things that are going to trickle? The things that are going to trickle out of my dream, in me pursuing my dream, in me making my dream a reality. What flows out of it? What are the fruit? Who's going to eat the fruit? Who's going to benefit from the fruit? Will my family benefit? Or is it just me? Is it going to make a difference? Who is it going to make a difference to? Every one of us, when we step out to pursue our dream, it's so important to ask yourself that significant question. Does my dream benefit others? Your why is going to be in there. Your why is going to be in there. I remember one time being in a school speaking to year 10s. So year 10s are about 15 years old or 14, 15. No, they're 15 years old. And we talked about what is your why. Yes, you want to succeed in your exams, but why do you want to succeed? And I remember I shared something and then I opened it up to them and said, think about it and let's talk about it. So they had some moments to think and then they started talking. And I'll never forget, this was a Muslim school for girls. And as they started talking, like I just had to pass a box of tissue around the class because they were in tears, and some of them were like, my parents have sacrificed so much, so by me achieving success, it means I can add value to my parents, it means I can look after my parents, it means I can make my parents proud.
Mm.
And it touched my heart. Who does your dream benefit? Who is it going to make a difference to? Who is it going to build up? I remember when I started my business, and after sort of having a few coaching clients and getting some feedback from them, some testimonials, I started to realize this is why. This is why it was for that woman, so that that woman can be unlocked, so that that woman can then be who she needs to be. She can step into into the person that God has designed her to be. And as she does, she lifts up a generation. As she does, she lifts other people up.
That's right.
And it
That's
has
right.
a ripple effect. It has a domino effect. What effect does your dream have?
Actually, that domino effect is, we take it very lightly, but we do not know. We do not know how it bounces back and brings forth such a, a good a good result, such a good result. And you might never see those people that are being touched by your dream. But one day you might realize somebody coming and touching your shoulder and saying, hey, what you spoke. No, we are coaches, but no, we are always encouraging people. What what you shared, or what you shared with me like 3 years back, that's what has kept me going. And today, that's where I am. So these are feedbacks that really make us happy.
Hmm,
Or if you're in for a product, how the product can revolutionize someone's life,
hmm,
bring a benefit. Or if it's a service like what Elizabeth and I do, how it touches lives. Or it is such an invention. Probably you're a scientist. Why not? An invention for a cure for cancer, completely eradicating from the face of the earth. You know how many people you would touch? So don't take it lightly. Your dream, my dreams are waiting to be birthed forth.
hmm.
The sons, the sons of God are awaiting for their reality to be birthed. It's serious matter, Elizabeth. It's serious matter. Serious matter.
It is, and I think one thing that I would really remind everyone is that we all have a dream. We might not realize it right now. You might say, "Oh, I don't know what my dream is," but like, what are the things that would bring you fulfillment? What achievements would bring you fulfillment? Is there a problem that you think, I wish I could solve that problem? What's stopping you? What's stopping you? I like to think, what is one thing I can do today to get me a step closer to achieving my dream? What is one thing? That one thing might be just having interaction with somebody. That one thing might just be even showing up on social media. That one thing might just be reading a book, listening to a podcast. That one thing might be networking, getting connected with somebody. What is that one thing that can bring you a step closer? You might not have the full resources that you need to start a full on thing, but start with what you have. Start where you are. Some of us are reluctant to start because we don't have the full amount. We're reluctant to start because we feel like we are not yet there yet. But if you're one of those people, can I just encourage you to start where you are with what you have? However little it seems, start with it. However underqualified you might feel, start right there. And a biblical example I like to refer to is the little boy with his fish and bread. They needed to feed multitudes. And Jesus said to the disciples, what do we have? And these disciples, all they could find was this little boy with his lunch. This little boy had his lunch. He did not realize that his lunch was the seed that was needed to feed the multitudes that day. So your little in the hands of a big God can be multiplied. That day, what was his lunch became so significant. And for some of us, maybe that's what we need. We need a shift in perspective because we are not realizing that what we have, the dream that we have, is a significant dream. We're not realizing that the dream that we have can impact multitudes, can impact generations. I say this on Saturday at the event that we were at. I said, looking in the room, there's a few people here, right? And you might look at the numbers of people in the room and think there's not many people here. But can I put it to you? When you impact one person, there's
Everything
a
has
lot of
effect.
potential.
Yeah.
So just start with impacting one person. You might have an event, right? You might be scared to start having events, and you have an event. You say, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna take that step. I'm gonna start, and then only 3 people show up.
It's all right.
Don't see it as 3 people. Because those 3 people, if they go away and take action on what they've learned, you can be guaranteed that it's going to impact at least a minimum of another 3 people, right? And then they impact those 3 people, they go impact. Like, do the maths. Do the math. There's a multiplication process going on there. As long as we are willing to take action, as long as we are willing to step out, as long as we are willing to dare to believe and take a step, your dream is going to need belief and it's going to need action. You have to believe that this dream can become a reality. You have to see value in your dream. That's why the question that we discussed a few weeks ago, does your dream compel you to pursue it? So you have to see that there is a reason to pursue this dream, to go after it. And when you see the significance of it, hey, when you see the significance of your dream, your why, like, that is the reason I stepped out. That is the reason. When I go to speak in schools, one of the things I tell them is I have a 6-year-old. Me pursuing my dream and making my dream a reality means I leave a legacy for her. It means I change the world for her. It means I set an example for her. It means I place so much value in her hands. If I can pursue my dream, then she can have better. Then she can go on to impact more people.
Rippling effect. And you know something? That little boy that you shared about, he goes down all the four gospels. He's remembered. The miracle was remembered.
It
And for
was
2,000 years, we are speaking about that miracle.
it was just his lunch. It was
Just his
just his
lunch.
lunch. You might see your gift or your dream idea as just, oh, it's just this, it's just a dream I have. It's just a dream I have. But you don't know the impact it could have if you took
Mm.
a step.
Wow.
It was just his lunch.
Hmm. And you know what? Today, my faith is rising, Elizabeth,
That's
because we
good.
are impact. Yes, we are impacting others to realize their dream.
That's good. That's
Wow.
good. Whoever's watching this, I want you to just be reminded that there is something so significant in your hands. There is something so significant. You might think it's just something small. You might, in fact, you might have written down the dream and you've put it to one side because you're just like, it's just this dream I had. It's just this dream I had. Forget about it. It's not for now. But actually, you pick up the dream, you count the cost, you look at how significant achieving this dream could be for others, the impact it could make. Like Maria says, it's like throwing a little pebble into a pond, it causes a ripple
Yes,
effect.
so true.
You stepping out to pursue your dream is going to have a ripple effect. I didn't know that one day, like when I made the decision to leave the 9 to 5 and start the job and start the business, I did not fully see the impact my dream would have, Kirubai. I didn't. I did not know that one day I could be posting stuff on social media and someone in America reaches out to me and says, I need to speak to you. And then I speak to her and she's so broken and she's so impacted that she wakes up and goes to, like, I did not know the global effect I could have just by
Mhm.
stepping out to pursue my dream. And you might be seated on something and you're too scared, but yet your dream can have a global impact. It can have global influence. But until you step out, you will never know. Trust me, there is fear every time, but you do it anyway. That's courage, right? You might feel the fear, but you do it anyway. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you. Yes. It's time to step up, Maria. Mm, It's time to step up. And we are here to help you. We are here to help you because we have gone through the pathway, which, I mean, I personally can speak for myself. I wanted to give up. Every time I wanted to give up, I had a reminder somewhere. I read something or I heard a song or, somebody said something that inspired me to run that race again. So this last 5 weeks, I think it's 5 weeks, we have
Yeah,
taken
I
on
agree.
the putting your dreams to the test. It has also personally
Get the
inspired
book.
us. It's a great book to buy and read. If you're starting, if you have doubts, if you're just on this journey of how can I get this through. It's a great book to read, and it's very simple, easy reading. And you know something? It's time to come out of your corner. Yes, Maria, it's time to get out of the corner. Because, Maria, when I heard your testimony, I was blown over. I was blown over. It's inspired me so much to reach out personally. And Elizabeth, thank you for bringing Maria to the platform. She was a little shy, but she spoke truth and it touched me a lot. So, your story, you got a story out there, Maria. It's time to bring it out in a book. or to own the stage and speak about it because you're
Mm.
touching lives. So, ladies, that's my final word because I'm really, really overwhelmed. And I thank God that we went through this 10 questions because it brought some affirmation on some projects that I want to take on, but still, struggling whether it's the right way, it's the right path, left or right. But you know what? I'm going to take it by the horn and say there's a new path that's going to be birthed. So I wish you the best. Wish you the best to realize your dream and purpose.
Awesome. Honestly, it has been a good session. So for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time and don't know much about myself or Kirubai, we are certified with the John Maxwell team, and actually so is Maria. And one of the things that we do coach on, and we do masterminds, and we offer lunch and learns on, is this book that we just went through over the past couple of weeks, Put Your Dream to the Test. So if you do want coaching in that area, please feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out. Yes, you can watch the videos, and that's fine. But if you really want someone to stand alongside you and support you through this, then reach out. Let's have the conversation. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can start making your dream a reality.
Ooh, do I value
Oh, yeah,
myself
that's a
enough?
big one.
That's right. That's right.
That's a big one. That's a
Yeah.
big one. We have to see value in who we are, value in what we carry, and we bring that
How are
value
we
into
going
the world.
to?
Don't forget your
Oh, it's
value when you walk into the room. You are a person of value. And Maria, I will just remind you of that. You are a person of value. And to everyone that is watching today, I want to remind you, you are a person of value. You are a person of value. And the sooner you start seeing your value, it will make such a huge difference in the way that you show up in the spaces that you are in. Once you start to realize your value, it makes a difference. I am living proof of that. I am living proof of that. Honestly, as my eyes got open to my value, I walk into a room and I am not afraid to say yes. On Saturday at Funke's event, I I she said the MC couldn't make it anymore. I said, well, I'll MC for you. Like, it's okay, it's all good. She said, but you're the speaker. I said, no, it's okay. I can wear the different hats. I know the value I bring.
Amen.
Know your value, embrace your value, and shine with your value. To any woman that's watching, or even any man that's watching, identify your value, embrace it, and shine in it. Walk in it. Show up into a room with it. Show up in the spaces that God has you. Show up with that value. Don't
Own
forget
it.
it.
Own it. Yeah, own
Don't
it.
forget it.
Oh,
When you go into your community, don't forget your value. When you go into your house, don't forget your value. When you go into a networking event that you've never been to before, don't forget your value. When you go to any event, don't forget your value. Value what you carry, value your dream. And like John Maxwell says in the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, the law of the mirror, when you start to see value in yourself, you will want to add value to yourself. But you got to see that value. You have to see that value. The next time you look in the mirror, tell the lady or the gentleman staring back at you, you are a person of value. You bring so much value to the spaces you are in. I do that with Janaya. In our affirmations on the way to school, I remind her, I am a person of value. I bring value to the world. I bring value to my generation. I bring value to my community. Go out and add value. I need to keep quiet because this is a topic that I love. This is out of John Maxwell's books. This is the favorite one to coach on for me. So honestly, feel free to reach out if you need to have a deeper conversation around these questions. If you haven't got the book, get the book. It's part of the investment into yourself. Get the
Mhm.
book, read it, answer the questions for yourself, and start to take action. Don't
Yeah,
stop
there's a little bit of a sorry. There's a little bit of a um like a workbook at the back.
reflections. There's reflections.
Yeah, reflection, and you can write, and as you write, you will realize, hey, I'm worthy of it, man. All right, ladies
You
and
deserve it.
gents.
You deserve it. But thank you so much for joining us
Yes.
for episode 90. So now
Well done.
the countdown to episode 100 begins, right? But this started somewhere. It started as something small, and now we're on episode 90. Process, process, and we're on TV in India, right?
Yes, we
Process.
are.
You gotta start somewhere. Don't throw in the towel. Be encouraged. And if you need some encouragement, please reach out. Reach out. Or go on my page. You'll find some encouragement there. There'll be a video for you that you can find that will stir you up. But honestly, step out and be all that you can be. Because the world needs you. The world needs you. The world needs the value that you carry. So don't hide it. Stop hiding it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Maria, for being part of this conversation. Thank you, Tasha. And thank you to everyone else who joined in but maybe was too shy to say something. If you're watching this on replay, let us know that you're watching it. Help us like it, share it, send it to someone else who needs this. We're going to love you and leave you. God
Yeah.
bless you.